Just some Mexican with a mustache says, Typhlosion really got robbed of a Mega Evolution because of the crimes of his Hisuian ancestor. Can't believe his fellow Johto brothers would abandon him like that for Emboar. Also, Chikorita? Really?
Same, brother.
Join me. Join my army and my cause.
I think that to balance it out, Cyndaquil has to appear in the wild and he has to get a Mega. Like, there's no shot that he's gonna be like a mystery gift, like Torchic was in X and Y. Like, there's no
Hisuian maybe.
Yeah, there's absolutely no shot that they leave Cyndaquil out of the Mega Trio. I think that's definitely not happening. Unless the other two just get regional forms, and then they all three have regional forms. Let's see.
I was going to mention that. I think they're not getting Megas. I think they're just going to get the regional forms.
I don't think there'll be regional forms in this game.
Lumiose City and Meganium.
Even so, then even worse. Even if they don't get regional forms, this game is even worse. The fuck no, hell no. Oh my
See, the problem is it's probably gonna be Megas. That is the gimmick, right? It makes sense to give them new Megas. But the thing is like with Cyndaquil, yeah, it's awkward that he won't get anything. So if you do add him in, like maybe he's a post game, maybe you just catch him in the wild, whatever, and you give him the Mega, it's still unbalanced because he got the Hisuian form, so at that point, why didn't they just make him a starter to begin with? It's just weird. Yeah. Why is Tepig there, bro? Tepig,
and then Emboar gets so one, and then Superior has nothing, and then Samurai just gets a Hisuian form. It's unbalanced.
It's already unbalanced the moment they put a second Johto starter there. Last thing I'll say about the starters before talking about non-starter things is that if you notice now, this low-key confirms that the starters for the next Legends game would be like Litten, Poplio, and Snivy. Because they're already kind of going through the Johto and the Unova starters, the Johto, Unova, and the Alola starters.
Unless they just say, "F it, we're gonna here's Mudkip," and just
at this point they probably will. Like everything you think that they're gonna do, they don't do it. They're like, "Oh, they're on to us. All right, time to change it up." But it's just kind of like, I don't think I'll ever get over the fact that I remember after the reaction, we were just sitting there. And I'm just still thinking, why do we have two Johto starters? I get that they want to shake things up. Okay, they want to throw us a curveball. But two Johto starters is so ridiculous.
We gotta move on. We got so much else to talk about. We gotta move on.
Honestly, the whole pod could just be about the starters.
We gotta move on.
All right.
I would love to talk about the philosophy behind the two Johto starters, but we got so much else to talk about.
Bro, at this point, I would have just taken the monkeys, dog.
All right, next, let's talk about the gameplay, guys. Specifically, the new battle mechanic that they do, the new real-time battles. I think is pretty cool. It's very anime-esque. You can dodge, which is pretty cool. The moves have different ranges, which can affect how they do damage and how they strike the opponents. Very, very interesting. John, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the battle style is like something akin to like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 or something like that.
It's so similar to Xenoblade. I can smell it. I can taste it. I love it. The only thing that's like remotely different is like the ability to kind of dodge moves. You can't do that in Xenoblade. There is like positioning based stuff where it's like you can like kind of group your tanks together to like make moves do less damage to your team. But like outright dodging something, that's not really much of a thing. So that's interesting. It's kind of like Xenoblade mashed with like the newer Final Fantasy games, which are also more action based. Like you kind of charge up your moves or arts as you play. Because it seems like each move has a different recharge time. I assume like if you try to use Hyper Beam, it'll recharge way slower than like Water Gun or Tackle or something like that. Yeah. So it's interesting. There'll be some strategy to it. And then also the Mega Evolution thing, which wasn't really shown off as well in the trailer, but Megas have a time limit in this game, which is also similar to Xenoblade 3. They had this thing called the Ouroboros forms, which was like you could turn into like this big creature for like a limited amount of time, like your Super Saiyan form basically. And then every time that you used a move, you would use up a little bit of that gauge. So I assume that the Megas will be a lot like that, where it's like it kind of goes down, but the more you spam attacks, the faster it'll go down. So that'll be cool. It'll make we talked about balancing Megas a couple pods ago, or maybe that was last week. So it seems like a good way to balance Megas, because you won't just be able to like Mega Evolve at the start of every battle and then instantly just go out and start sweeping people. That's not going to be a thing. You won't have the Mega for the full battle.
I like that. It makes it a bit more strategic. Like, you have to actually think, do I want to use the Mega in the beginning because I'm not going to have it by the end, or do I save it for the end, when the opponent's a lot weaker and I can finish the job with a Mega? I like that idea. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think the structure with the moves is really cool because you'll have obviously it comes down to the situation of, oh, do I keep a weaker move to then blast it off a little bit quicker. We noticed in the gameplay whenever you mega evolve, your moves turn to whatever the move is plus, so it's obviously gonna be a stronger version of the move in addition to that. So it comes down to like, oh, do I keep something like Aqua Jet, or do I like you get something later on that's going to have like a longer recharge? How do I want to play it depending on how strong the Pokemon is and stuff like that?
I wonder if they're somehow going to integrate in like the Legends Arceus like move timing thing with that. How it's like if you use Mega Evolved moves, then like the recharge period will be longer.
Could be
just full balance, I guess. Maybe.
Interesting.
The one side of the gameplay that wasn't really clear was, I guess, how we effectively control that Pokemon and make sure they're dodging, or are they just kind of following us?
Maybe it's like left stick is your trainer, right stick is your Pokemon, and like the camera's just locked on to your opponent the whole time.
Yeah. The second thing is like speed, right? We know Pokemon obviously in Arceus, like stats really didn't matter, but they still had like speed in there. But how does that work with a game where we can fully move around our Pokemon? Am I expecting, like, if I use a Lucario, which is a little bit quicker, and let's say I use like a Snorlax, I don't think that Pokemon's confirmed, but let's just say it is. Like, is it going to move super slow? Is it not going to dodge as much? Like, how does that?
Ember is cooked.
Yeah.
Maybe balance the stats like they did in Legends Arceus to make the tanky Pokemon like extra tanky to account for that weakness in the battle system.
Which I think would be more effective. Like if you're speedier, like a quick special attacker, you're gonna have really good attack. You'll be moving around a lot more to dodge, but you won't tank hits well.
Or they'll rebalance the support moves, like the Hippowdon that used Stealth Rocks in the trailer. The Stealth Rocks were around the Hippowdon as like an obstacle, and like if the Talonflame ran into them using an attack, then like the Talonflame would take damage from it.
That's pretty cool.
True.
Maybe they'll, like if you have a slower tanky Pokemon, they will change its moves to better fit the battle style, even if that Pokemon isn't very agile.
Yeah, very, very anime. When I saw it, and I was like, bro, they're hitting the Stealth Rock just like this, like just such a cool way to like, literally turn like your ideas of, oh, I wish we could do that in the game instead of just pressing A. Like you can literally make that a reality now, like from the anime, have some really fun battles. Maybe they are setting up a Stealth Rock, just run around them real quick, get your Pokemon to run around, hit them. Like there's a lot of cool things I think we can have, and it's a lot more engaging than just the A. And then I mean, like the two styles in Legends Arceus were cool, but this just adds an extra layer of like, I need to pay attention. I can't just be leaning back in the chair pressing A.
You can't just button mash.
And I think this clearly does define what makes a Legends game a Legends game. Because before we were asking the question of like, is a Legends game, does it specifically have to be in the past? Does it specifically have to have this feature or that feature? It seems now that what defines a Legends game is the style of the gameplay and like how you move around in the world, how the battles are a little bit different than just the typical turn-based battles, how you interact with the wild Pokemon. Like that's what makes a Legends game more so than like the time period or the plot or anything like that.
Yeah, especially when you think about how they were describing Pokemon Champions, how it's like a Pokemon game that's specifically focused on battles and battles like the core series games. So that like when they say that core series games, you think of like a Sword and Shield, Scarlet Violet, XY, Sun and Moon, stuff like that. They like Legends, even though it is a main series game, I think there's a difference between main series and core series. Core series is like, what you'd expect of the games I listed. Legends is like you said, it's like it plays a bit differently. I was thinking about that too before the pod, like what defines it, because before now we always thought, oh, Legends, which the name Legends is still kind of a little weird now and misleading now that we know it's not really dedicated to just, oh, it's an old style game. It's like, but it is more like the gameplay, like the battle styles are different, the catching Pokemon is different. There was one more thing that I was kind of thinking about as well. Oh yeah, also the storyline is different. It's not like collecting badges or trying to become the champion now. It like in Legends Arceus, it was just you're just going through the plot, like, taking down the noble Pokemon, and then there's the plot with Arceus and Dialga-Palkia. This one, like, there's nothing really. We don't know about the plot yet, but we know it's not gonna be jammed. You're just in Lumiose City. The way it's described on the website is that there's like incidents. There are things that are happening, probably Pokemon related, obviously, but it's like it's very different. It's like it has some things that are similar to the core series games, but it deviates. It kind of does its own distinct thing, which I like. It's pretty cool because it also doesn't define. Because like if you look at Legends Arceus and Legends ZA, they're very different. There are some similarities with like, the difference in battle styles or like the catching mechanic. But even in Legends ZA, when we saw in the trailer, that like apparently when you knock out a Pokemon, they don't just die and disappear. Like now when you knock them out, you can catch them even after like they faint, which is pretty cool. So I think Legends is just kind of like where the Pokemon Company or Game Freak specifically have a bit more freedom to flesh out the Pokemon worlds. Okay, I just remember what was the other one too. So like it's the battle mechanics, catching, and then also revisiting a region. I think that's kind of what defines a Legend series. Well, if we go to a new generation, it's like, you know, bread and butter, 8 gyms, Pokemon League, you know, turn-based battles, that type of deal.
Can I be honest? I am so much more invested in what the Legends games do than like actual new
unique,
Pokemon games.
Yeah, it's unique. Something different.
I think
I feel like they can change anything in a Legends game. Whereas like Gen 10, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go get 8 badges again. I'm gonna challenge the Pokemon League again. Like it's gonna be
It's the same story. These are new developments, new ways to engage old and new players. It's not just, again, our standard Pokemon game. Because, again, you take your eyes off of playing one of these battles potentially, you're going to lose.
You're gone.
You're going to run through your Pokemon.
Especially if you choose Tepig, you're cooked, bro. You got to be moving quick, bro.
So, like, I think it adds a new layer. Because when we got Legend Arceus, it was like, oh, wow, this is different. There's a layer of freedom that we can move around. We can see different things from different angles. And
maybe they purposely chose 3 Pokemon who have very slow final forms to make the game harder.
Oh my god!
Anyway,
you'll find any way.
They're cooked.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Let's talk about it.
All the more reason for me to find that Froakie, bro.
Move quick. No, I think the gameplay looks good. I want to talk about like the UI. UI actually looks really nice.
The UI
I was actually
so
surprised.
clean.
Yeah,
and the fact that
really
like there's no break for text boxes. Like they kind of happen on the side as you're going.
Yeah,
like it tells you what's happening,
yeah.
but there's no break in the action at any point at all, which is really cool.
Yeah,
very fast paced. Keep
Yeah.
up to date.
Keeps you engaged, keeps you right there in the battle without breaking the immersion. I think that's really sick. The battles look good. Switching your Pokemon seemed really fast because I know at one point they switched into an Onix and it was pretty. Like, it was quick, and then, like, immediately went into a move, so I was like, okay, so we can...
It looks like you just press up and down on the D-pad to just switch your Pokemon in and out, which is super
Maybe
fast.
it'll allow you to select a move when you're just about to send it out.
Like there's literally going to be no downtime in these battles, which is like Jaleel was saying. You can't be laying back. You got to be locked in.
You have sleep.
I like that.
Wait, what happened?
It's so cool, and it adds a little bit more strategy when it comes to switching your Pokemon, because since it's turn based, it's like I get to switch and I have to think, can this Pokemon tank the hit? Now it's like you have to think about the speed in which, like, how fast can I switch this Pokemon out? Like, I think that's so cool. Just like
your lineup matters. Your Pokemon lineup matters. You want to position Pokemon in your party next to like who's gonna counter what, basically.
Yeah, that's really smart. It reminds me of like the Pokemon Journeys episode where Ash battled Volkner, where like Pikachu used Thunderbolt, and then mid Thunderbolt, which it shouldn't happen realistically, but it's still cool. He returns his Luxray, I think it was, and he sends out Electivire to have Motor Drive tank the Thunderbolt. That was so cool. You can't do that in the game because it's all turn based. But here, maybe you can like quickly take out a Pokemon with an immunity.
Sick, actually.
It's an Earthquake, and then I send out my Noivern or my Talonflame real quick to make the hit miss. That'd be pretty insane.
I think that would be really cool, and I think that adds a level of difficulty, especially if you're facing someone of that caliber. Like, imagine you're fighting whoever. Let's just say it's like Ramos is dead. So.
Ramos is dead.
By the way, that's what I was gonna mention. I was talking about this before. I was like, "Yo, it is now confirmed. Ramos is gone. That guy's hurt. This has confirmed it." So I'm excited to see
if Sycamore is a kid, he's so dead. He's so dead.
Not just a kid, but like he's lived quite a bit. He's not like 5. He's like somewhere between 10 to 15. Like Ramos is gone.
Ramos is gone.
What do we think of like the Sycamore and Grace theory? Because I'm not gonna lie, there's that line in X and Y where she's like, "Ooh, what's this? A love letter? Oh, whoever wrote this has really nice handwriting." There was something there. There was something there between those.
That would be pretty crazy. The only thing that I feel like kind of I feel like is a bit of a reach. So the male protagonist does look like Sycamore. I'll give him that. The female one is a stretch. She has like the same color hair as Grace, but Grace has blue eyes. The female protagonist doesn't.
The bangs are like mildly similar.
I think the female is a reach. It's just the hair color really, but the eyes there's no
like
other
Lyra.
feature. Yeah, like
So
I've been
much
saying
more
that,
fun
like
stuff,
Ethan and
too.
Lyra comparisons, which makes sense because of the damn Johto starters and Tepig. But the Sycamore one, like the male protagonist, that is straight up that could be Sycamore's son. Like honestly, so very interesting.
Could be
I saw some
interesting.
people saying that he could be like Ethan from Heart Gold. I'm like, no, that's just straight Sycamore, bro. That's just young Sycamore.
Actually, whoa, maybe. No, I don't think so. But
Yo,
like,
are they related? Like somewhere down the line? That'd be kind of crazy.
Maybe, or maybe it is Ethan and Lyra. Just I don't know. Some time has passed. I doubt it, but the only thing that makes me think that a little bit is the fact that like they're specifically like the player characters are visiting Lumiose City. They're sightseers. It's specifically said on the website. I think they said in the presents that they're here visiting. They're just here to check out the city, and you kind of get involved in the plot. So it's like you're not from here. Where are you from? I don't know. So if you want to go with that theory, maybe they're Ethan and Lyra, or Ethan and Lyra's kids are visiting from the Johto region. And oh, look at that, they get Johto starters here anyways. Like, oh, I hate Johto. So
Imagine going overseas to get the same Pokemon.
and Tepig.
So, but
The same Pokemon and Tepig.
But, oh my god, it sucks.
Yo, Pokemon's trying really hard to gaslight us into thinking that Tepig was a Johto starter all along. Oh my
It's
god.
an interesting theory, though. Definitely possible.
What do you guys think about the new characters that they introduced?
Pretty
Do you
cool.
think that they find them that
The
they've
silence
followed
says volumes. We just don't know.
I'm gonna pull him back up. I need to look at.
I'll
them
talk
again.
about AZ. AZ, bro.
talk
Can we
AZ.
clap it up for AZ, bro? He's doing so well for himself. He got a business. He's running a
Modern day.
hotel, bro. He's happy. He's cleaned up, bro. He's looking nice. He even got his long hair braided up in the back. If you look closely, he's doing good. Everyone thought he was like younger.
Oh,
No,
he
he's
does.
just happy. He's just happy.
He's just happy.
I mean, that suit's a little pieced together because he's so damn tall. But
I noticed
you
that detail too. That was funny.
Yeah.
He literally got like two different sleeves on him.
It kind of. Hold on, I'm tripping.
Well, at least now we know it seems like all the megas are going to be in this game. There was a little bit of doubt. Like, some people were like, is it just going to be XY megas? Are they going to put Oras in as well? Like, it seems like all of them will be there. Like, you know, maybe Rayquaza's missing or something. But, like, it seems
Pokemon.
like they'll include everybody, which is
There was
nice.
some Pokemon that were shown in like different frames, not like the Mega Evolution frame. Like I think there was a Pidgeot or a Pidgeotto that was in there. And many
There
people
were
said-
several Pokemon like getting attacked in the trailer that weren't Mega Evolved, but you know
But they
they
have
could
Megas.
Mega Evolve.
Yeah.
Mega Evolution.
Like, they showed Pidgeot. There's somebody else that they showed that was like not Mega Evolved, but
I
was
remember.
it Steelix? I don't
Oh,
know.
Onyx.
Onyx
So
is in the game.
Onyx.
Yeah, Onyx is in
there
the
was,
game. Yeah.
There was Mawile. There were quite a few. There were some Pokemon that weren't even in the Kalos decks, I think, that they added in because they had Megas.
Yeah, so I think
Which, I
it's
mean,
pretty
the
safe to
Dex
say that
needs
it's all of them minus like probably Mewtwo, Primal Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza.
I am curious though, like kind of linking back to our gameplay side of it. How the hell does Kangaskhan work? Mega Kangaskhan work?
Oh,
That just
because
seems
it
busted.
Yeah.
Yo, imagine you control the baby with one stick and the parent with the other, and you make them split.
Busted
That'd be
maneuvers.
crazy.
Maybe you can use right bumper to like switch between the Pokemon, just like how you would in other games, so you can switch characters. So maybe you have to switch and to be very tactical by using either one of the Pokemon. Wow,
That
I didn't think
just
of that.
seems like a lot. Oh, I also know, like, did you guys like they put like this like aura light white aura thing on all the Mega Pokemon? How you guys feeling about that?
I actually kind of don't like that.
I was gonna say I'm not a huge fan. They look overly shiny.
It makes the
white.
fire in Charizard's mouth look like a balloon. Like, it's kind of
Oh, it actually does.
It does look great on some of them. Like, I don't know. Maybe they'll fix it. Maybe they'll clean it up before release. But I'm not a fan of like the little rainbow energy
Take
around.
some feedback into consideration.
Yeah.
I just peeped that. The models themselves look pretty good. Mega Sableye looks actually pretty dope.
Mega Sableye does look nice. He looks very nice.
Looks really cool. Killing it. Wish we would have saw one new Mega, but I get it. There was other focuses. The gameplay here was the main focus.
Imagine if the one Mega they revealed was Typhlosion. Everybody would be like, "Bro, what?"
I guess this also does confirm on the customization side that we should have possibly options like different colored bands at the bare minimum. I hope they would have like other options of Mega Rings.
Thank you
but
for
to keep it
bringing the
simple.
drip back. Thank you.
Yes, customizable, which I mean makes sense. XY had a lot of drip in it, a lot of ways to customize your character. It makes sense. This is probably one of the regions will be the most fashionable we've ever been. So I like that perspective. Someone's even comparing like the clothes design to like the belt on the female character kind of looks like the Dolce and Gabbana like logo.
No
So
way.
simple stuff like that. Yeah.
What about
Crazy.
that tweet that was going around about how you can catch Pokemon even after they faint? What do you guys think about that?
Hope that's like a split-second thing, like a just in case you KO them, you have like 10 frames to throw a Pokeball and catch it before it disappears.
I think that'd be really
Yeah.
cool. It adds to like the whole real-time mechanic instead of just like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I got a free capture now.
I hope it's
ruined
not
some
like
of
you knock the Pokemon out, it stands there for 10 whole seconds and then disappears. Like, I hope it's just like, oh, you better be ready to throw that ball.
Yeah, because it is interesting because I know in one part where you knock out the Garbodor, the 2 Trubbish are also already like in that mode as well. So it almost seems like we have like a couple seconds to decide, all right, who we catch and what we doing. Like again, a game, another way to just keep us engaged and like we need to be paying attention just in case there's multiple Pokemon we hit with like Earthquake or something.
Yeah,
I
go ahead, Ref. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I wonder how it'll work for shiny Pokemon. Like, it's either going to make it really easy for people to try and catch them, if it's going to be giving them that pause to be like, right, you're going to try and catch it now, or you're going to let it flee, or I don't know, might ruin the mechanic a little bit. I guess it depends on how they do it.
I feel like I don't know, like I'm just worried that if they just kind of stand there after you beat them and then you can catch it, it ruins some of the challenge, because some of the challenge of catching Pokemon is not only hoping that you can catch it, but also hoping you don't kill it. Because what if you have a really cool Pokemon, but like if you can just beat the crap out of it and catch it, it just ruins all the fun. Like imagine facing a legendary and it's like, I just gotta beat you and I caught you. No, you gotta keep it alive and make sure it doesn't kill you before it gets in the ball. I think that's really cool.
One of the things I really enjoy about Legends Arceus was like if you're fighting a stronger or a weaker Pokemon, you can use Agile style to keep it alive. Like you kind of had to budget its HP. Whereas like if you're fighting an Alpha and you need to get to Red, you're like, okay, I'm strong styling. I need him to like go down to the Red. So yeah. Being able to just KO them and catch them seems like it takes a little bit away from that meticulous balance, but
yeah, they kind of did that a little bit with in Let's Go. When you face legendaries, you have to KO them first before you can catch them, but it's not like, oh, you KO them and then free capture. No, you KO them and then you have to do the whole catching, the whole throwing mechanic, thing, which added a bit more. It made it dynamic. But like if it's straight up, I beat them and they just wait for me to catch them, it's just like, now it's just easy, well, we are in XY Kalos region. This is where things start to get easy for Pokemon after all.
Defeat in battle will be like, Zygarde wants to join you instead of you trying to catch it.
Hey, shout out to Ron. He's in the chat. Said Pokemon Day ain't the same without you guys here. Man.
Man.
Thanks for being here, man.
We'll be back
Appreciate you, Ron.
Appreciate you, bro.
Hey guys, Ron here.
How do you guys feel about the dude jumping off the building and the Rotom phone being what's the transportation?
When we turn to Spider-Man.
The initial jump looks really off because he almost like runs. He's like stops for like a full second and then he's like, oh yeah, let me jump. And then he does the movement. It's just not as seamless, I think, as it could have been. Looks like they're just playing with like, because in Southern Valley, if you jump off any height that's like a little bit higher than usual, you'll get the Rotom phone that'll magically catch you, which is awkward, but
there should be fall damage. I hate that.
There should be fall damage.
I wonder
just breaking your ankle on the Lumiose streets.
That's what you get jumping off a roof. Who do you think you are, Daredevil, bro?
What were you saying, Ref?
I was gonna say, I wonder if that's what's gonna happen. You have to plan the timing accurately when you're using the phone, because like in Assassin's Creed or some other RPG games as well, if you don't plan the timing and if you're not consistent with the controls, you would just probably fall and then you'll take that damage. So that's probably, it's not going to be like a simple thing like, okay, I'm going to press a button, I'm going to skip from one building to another building.
You do have to press a button to activate the phone. I don't want it to just always break your fall like it does in Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
Like that would be kind of lame.
I can see them doing that because obviously in PLA we had it to where if you jump from any crazy height with like weird deer and like you get that sound, you break both your ankles and weird deers. You lose all your items that you collected, right?
Somebody in the chat said, "Imagine jumping off the tower only to realize your phone's at 0% battery."
That's great.
That's a good one.
That's good.
My problem is like, why is it your phone? It's funny too because like the whole point of Legends EA and like the Lumiose City is that like the urban redevelopment plan is that they're trying to make it the perfect place for humans and Pokemon to coexist. You have these wild areas or these wild zones for wild Pokemon. You know, they're trying to like blend the ecosystem of humans and Pokemon. Cool. Why am I using my phone to jump off a building and glide? Why could I can't use a Pokemon? We had, you know, Hisui and Braviary be the glider in Legends Arceus. Why is our phone doing that? I feel like every time Pokemon takes 2 steps forward, they take a step back. Like, I just want to be able to use my Pokemon to help me traverse the overworld. Why do I have to okay, Koraidon and Miraidon, that's the whole gimmick of Scarlet and Violet, fine. Okay, I have these noble Pokemon that I use a little flute in Legends Arceus, they do it for me, fine. Ride Pokemon on Alola, okay, I call them fine. I just want a game where my Pokemon, let me use my Talonflame and let me glide. Why is my phone doing it? I was just dumb. Rant
On
over.
that note, one thing maybe I just need to rewatch the trailer again. I felt like some of the Pokemon sizing was off. Like I get like obviously PLA was like we have these noble Pokemon, they're huge, alpha Pokemon, but I feel like Onyx was tiny.
He was tiny.
Yeah,
it's cause you know we're Lumiose City. Imagine pulling up this Onyx, bro. He's gonna bust through a building, bro. If it was actual life size.
Let it happen, bro. I said let it happen.
Trying to sleep at 4 a.m. and then I mega up a Pokemon on his roof.
Oh, the one with like, what was it? I saw a clip of like this video, this like this store surveillance footage of this guy just busting through the ceiling. He falls on the ground. It's like my crocodile using dig on somebody's roof.
Oh, everybody's coming for you, Zach. Like the Rotom is your Pokemon. He's the Rotom's in the phone.
I didn't catch that Rotom, bro.
It's not the same, bro.
It is not the same.
If everybody's got that Rotom, nobody's got that Rotom.
Maybe if it turned into a Rotom fan, okay, maybe. No, it's just a phone. It's just a phone.
Ooh, a Rotom that could shapeshift for like different.
So that would be pretty cool. I think that would be like a really good way to use it. Like you jump off the building, turns to the fan, you glide with the fan, or if you're gonna like hit the ground, maybe it turns into something else.
It turns into the refrigerator, you just crash it into the ground.
Running like Harry Potter's, bro.
Oh man.
You ride on the lawnmower. That's like your weird ear.
Yeah, like your feet don't touch the ground. It just literally just speeds up. Your feet are in the air.
You're flying backwards. You get legs in the air.
Bro, they could have done it. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Exciting.
Unlimited potential with this game. Honestly, I am really looking forward to it.
Have you guys looked at the map of
the map looks cool. The map.
I only looked at it briefly.
It gives me the impression that like every square inch of this city is going to have like some kind of thing.
Yeah, there's like a barrier, or not like a barrier, but like it's like a head. As you can see here in like the green section, like in the middle parting of it, there's like a little headquarter building there or something like that, and there's the same on the left side for the blue. What's this gameplay story about? Like we've arrived in the ring with incidences, right?
So far, you arrived to Lumiose City to sightsee. You're staying at AZ Hotel, and there are like incidents that are happening. What does that mean? I don't know. Obviously, the 2 new characters that they showed off are probably the villains, one or the other. Who would have guessed? What are they trying to do? That's the question.
I think what's interesting, I mean, while the map is cool, I'm also looking at the icons down below that like you have these like different looking symbols for like different things. One kind of looks like a scissor head, if I'm imagining that correct.
It looks like the alpha Pokemon.
Yeah, it reminds me of that too. Yeah. You have like this Aegis shield. Obviously, no cafes are gonna be there. They have like the shopping centers, and there's like these other 2 icons, like this half Pokeball gauge thing, and then this building. You know, where do those come into play?
What do we think the Lumiose tournament thing is gonna be about? Like that last thing they showed off.
Ooh.
I feel like it almost felt like not world, but maybe it's like Lumiose tournament type of thing, almost like PWC, like the promotion match. You go to the next tier, almost something kind of like that is what I imagine. So that way you do have a battle element to it, because I imagine there's like a big battlefield and you're fighting like higher tier trainers in there, and that's going to add to the gameplay of fighting skilled trainers.
Maybe that's how the progression will go. There's like, you know how they have the 10 stars in Legends Arceus, and that was like how you ranked up. Like there's like maybe 10 floors to the Lumiose Tower, and like you go up one tier every time you like knock something off
You
in the
reach the
story.
top
I
and
don't
you
know.
meet like, I don't know, the champion or the main person.
You get to
That's
the
where you
top, you fight Clement or something. I don't know.
Oh, I think this is how they bring like all the other Kalos characters into it, because we were wondering before when we thought it was like a past game or something, like is everyone gonna be in Lumiose City? How is that gonna make sense? You know what I'm saying? But maybe like with this promotional battle, they have like these battles where you're scheduled, and then maybe you battle Clement, or you battle Ramos is dead, so not Ramos, but you battle like Karina, or you battle like Olympia. Like they schedule battles with gym leaders or other prominent characters. Maybe like, since this is the future, they kind of repurposed the Prism Tower, or they changed it to like no longer just being the Lumiose gym, but it kind of works as like a battle facility of sorts.
Yeah, like
I'm
it's like
gonna
the
lose
Lumiose Battle
my
Tower.
mind.
Almost.
I'm gonna lose my mind when on the 4th floor, Ramos rolls up in a wheelchair and he's like, "I lived, bitch."
You're dead.
I think this is a great opportunity, obviously, with this being obviously sometime in the future. Like maybe instead of like Clement, it's Bonnie who's taking over, just because he's so busy with building things in the city and working on stuff.
Time
Like
skip Bonnie would go crazy, actually.
I think that'd be a great way to like just have her do something, her character, be fun for the anime fans, obviously fans who know who she is.
I always said that if XY was going to do a time skip, I think that Karina should have been the champion. Like she's the one other person who does Mega Evolution. I could have seen her having like an Iris type of arc.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
I'm just glad that like they're actually like, obviously they're gonna do it because we're in Lumiose City, but they're doing something with the Prism Tower, because it was kind of underwhelming that you have the Eiffel Tower, the most iconic thing about Paris, France, and it's just the 5th gym. Like not even the last gym. Not even the last gym. Yeah. It's just the 5th gym, which is like okay. So like,
and it's not even a cool gym. It's just a quiz show.
Yeah. So like using like it as like this like promotional battle facility type thing, I could see it as this thing that we continuously revisit and will play a big part in the story, especially since it's like, we didn't really talk about this, but I love how in the gameplay, like the Prism Tower is just in the background the whole time, which is really, really cool. That's the whole scope of the region. Obviously, the iconography. It's like how you could
always see Mount Coronet in Legends Arceus. Like that was cool.
Yeah. So it's like that. So I like that. It seems like they're gonna use this as a way to help us keep revisiting it and make it prominent, instead of just like, oh, I'm in Lumiose City for the first time, but I can't battle the gym because there's a blackout, even though the lights are clearly on the other side. I'll be back later. You beat the gym after you beat Ramos, and then you're done. Like it felt kind of wasted. So it seems like they're setting up something important there, and I don't know, maybe that's where. I'm assuming maybe when it comes to, I don't know if they'll be like multiplayer battles. I would assume so, maybe. But with the battle, I think it'll be really interesting to have multiplayer Wi-Fi battles with this battle gimmick, this battle style. Maybe that's the place where you do it. I don't know.
Maybe you can host like a private match or something with your friends, or a lobby.
Be pretty dope.
Also, I just realized that. What happened?
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I noticed that the big building from that new organization, the Quasarico, I think Quasarico Inc. company, it's pretty big. It's literally like the second biggest thing outside, like aside from the Prism Tower, which is pretty interesting.
I'm assuming that Hexagon building is AZ's hotel, right?
Which one?
It's between
right
the Corsico building and the Prism Tower, like halfway.
With like the yellow trimming on the top.
Yeah.
Oh, that one? I don't think it is. It doesn't look like.
Is it not?
Wait, is it this one that you're looking at?
Or is it?
No,
is it one? Is it the
left,
one kind of down
left.
towards the right?
Left. That?
Go down just a little bit. No, in
down.
between, right there.
There?
There, you're on it. You're on it. There.
Okay, yeah, that looks more like it. Yeah, I think maybe.
Yeah.
What about the building that's off to the right over there? I forget what Pokemon's on top of it, but
this one, like, with the Swablu?
Nope. Down a little bit more. Yeah.
Oh, that's probably the museum, I think. The museum or the station.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's
we have some.
There's a Lumiose station. There's a Lumiose museum. Or actually, I think this is the station right here.
Can I just say that I love that all the buildings have green roofs, like such a Zygarde attention to detail. I like that.
Speaking of attention to detail, I really like how they fleshed out Lumiose City. I mean, XY do a pretty good job, but now having the whole game, like, I can understand now. Like I can see them making a whole game, especially since you're not just walking the streets. There's like these different biomes that they made for Pokemon. They have these little mechanical things that help you like teleport to the rooftops. You can battle on rooftops. Like it's so cool. And again, just seeing Prism Tower in the background, it's really like Lumiose City might be one of the best cities in all of Pokemon, or the best. And like as someone who went to Paris, France earlier this year, it's so cool seeing it now in the game, especially now that it's like more open world 3D. Like I feel like they did a really, really great job of capturing the vibe of like Paris, France, which is pretty sick. I'm really excited for it.
Great,
for sure. Well, all right, boys. What do you say we wrap this one up?
Yes, sir. That is it. Right. Final thoughts for me. I'm really excited for the games. Pokemon Champions is also really hype. And I will never get over the 2 Johto starters in the Legends CA game.
That will always be funny.
Literally the same vibe.
Yeah. Game looks interesting. Interesting, I have to say. Also, reminder everybody, if you came in late and you want to go back and watch the entire podcast, of course, we will upload some clips for this one. But if you want the entire podcast, you can become a member. Those are still available to our members via the Discord server. So just a reminder to everybody.
Oh, yeah. I just remembered as well. Really quick, we got update for the memberships now. So the 199 tier is now been called the Rocket Recruits, I believe. So that will cover access to the Discord server, the membership badges, the membership badges next to your name, as well as the emojis. And now we're made a new tier, the 499 Rocket Grunts tier, which includes all those perks, as well as obviously access to the server and access to the archive of the Champion League podcast, as well as discount for merch, which will be coming pretty soon. So that is pretty cool if you guys are into that and excited for that. So yeah, be on the lookout. Oh, as well, totally forgot as well. Yeah, that tier also includes a monthly members-only Tangent podcast. So obviously, we're talking lots of Pokemon. There's lots of things we want to talk about that happened throughout the week that we just couldn't get to because of the Pokemon news, but we'll be able to cover it in a monthly member podcast, literally just all Tangent, just talking about anything non-Pokemon related. So if you guys are interested in that, then feel free to support. That'd be pretty awesome.
Hope everybody has a wonderful evening, and good night, everybody. Good night.
Shout out the Johto starters.